there's still the kind of the ghosts and echoes of those performances that you have to sort of acknowledge, but at the same time not be kind of intimidated by it, and find the character all of your own. So it was a huge thing for him to do, and I just thank my lucky stars every day that he said yes.
Paul, I love Wonka. I love revisiting this movie. I'm so happy now that it's coming to home entertainment because I can watch it again and again. And there's so many great special features on the home entertainment release. And this is the part I love about it because it's almost like going to film school with you. Now, can you talk about balancing the book with the unique elements you added to the chocolate cartel being like an actual crime conspiracy group?
I could talk about that all day, but it was sort of great to kind of go back to the book and kind of dive into this very rich world that Dahl makes. And he was so precise writing the book, and I got to spend a little time in his archive of all his papers. And Wonka was a character he loved, and he came back to again and again. He really chose each word with such care. But when you see the things around it, you sort of begin to see a little bit more of the kind of the world that he had in mind that he was trying to create. And it was a kind of joy to sort of feel like I was kind of putting on his clothes and going for a walk, if that doesn't sound too creepy. But it was kind of sort of taking clues of what was in the book and trying to kind of open out, who was this character before he became this reclusive kind of stuck behind the walls of his factory, sort of eccentric billionaire. It's kind of, Wonka begins.
Wonka begins, exactly.
But with less bats and more chocolate. Less bats, more vats. Is that
exactly. Now, Timothee hadn't done a lot of singing and dancing before this movie, and he blew me away in this performance. And I was talking to Denis Villeneuve not too long ago in Dune, and he said when he came back after working on Wonka, he felt like a new actor,
wow.
a movie star. Can you talk about Timothee's dedication to the role and the way that he perfected Willie in this film?
I didn't know that, and that's obviously high praise coming from the master. And he was pretty darn good in the first Dune, so I can't wait to see how great he is in the second. I mean, I think it probably, to be fair, it was the first movie that was kind of really a Timothee Chalamet movie, and it was the first sort of movie where he was the lead, and really it was kind of all about him. He's in every scene bar about half a dozen, and it was an insane amount of work for him because he wasn't just the lead of the titular character, but he also had to sing, he also had to dance. There was, in a kind of comedic way, but there's wire work and there's stunt work, and there's kind of, it's not like the big action sequences of a Dune, but it's kind of it's still just as tough on the actors. And there's sort of shots like where he and Kayla are sort of coming down from the rooftops at the end of their balloon dance, and they're on a 60-foot crane, in the middle of the night being lowered onto, like, it's kind of they're big numbers. And I think he really kind of and I think the other challenge probably for Timothee was that he was walking in the footsteps of these extraordinary performers who played the role before, and obviously he's 30 years younger. It's a very different time of his life. He's a different character at this stage, but there's still the kind of the ghosts and echoes of those performances that you have to sort of acknowledge, but at the same time not be kind of intimidated by it, and find the character all of your own. So it was a huge thing for him to do, and I just thank my lucky stars every day that he said yes.
Neil Hannon is a fantastic storyteller through lyrics. His work harkens back to like these old school Hollywood musicals. Can you discuss working with Neil on the lyrics for this film?
I think Neil's, like, exactly like you say, he's a great songwriter, and obviously he's a contemporary songwriter, and he's written many a hit song. But he does have there's a spirit of nostalgia to what he does that I thought made him kind of uniquely right to kind of again kind of try to make something that's his own, but imbues the spirit of the kindly brick us newly kind of songs that are so beloved. And again, it must be very intimidating to go, there's one of my songs, then there's a bit of pure imagination, then one of mine, then Oompa Loompa, and you go, good luck. So when we were writing, with Simon, my co-writer, and I would kind of write these sort of dummy lyrics. We'd sort of write, what we thought might be useful verse, and occasionally Neil would stick closely to them. And for the most part, he used them as a springboard to go off and write his own songs, which is exactly what he wanted. Like you say, he's a great storyteller, comedic songwriter, and they don't grow on trees. And it was a joy to collaborate with him.
We've seen the start of Willy Wonka, as you call it. Wonka Begins. And of course, the end of this is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Are there After this film, is there a story that you'd like to tell as a sequel, probably or possibly like The Great Glass Elevator or something like that?
I would love to make another Willy Wonka film if we could find the right story. I mean, like I said at the beginning, this is a character Dahl came back to again and again, and he felt there was mileage in it, and he's a storyteller a billion miles above anything I could ever dream up. So there is material to work from. I think if we came back to the character, it would probably be between here and Charlie, because there's a sort of there's 30 years there to explore. So there could be some mileage, but it's a tough act to follow, and it's a tough act. But there's got to be the Velvet Night, right? I mean, if you're going to.
I'm with it. I'm with it. Now, look, this is coming to the home entertainment release, which I absolutely love. So if on home entertainment, you can do things like double features. So if you were to do a double feature with Wonka and you can't choose any of the other Willy Wonka or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movies,
Wow.
what would your double feature be to pair with Wonka?
Oh, that is a really good question. I think I might take what was it I was thinking about the other day? I might take Annie.
That's a great one.
I love Annie, and I don't feel Annie gets the love it deserves. It's so terrific. So I'm going there. I'm going to the 80s.
I love that. Now, with things like this, usually, I think going to film school is like listening to some of these DVD or Blu-ray commentaries. What has been some of your favorite Blu-ray or DVD commentaries from past home entertainment releases?
I tell you, I love the commentary on Fight Club, which is definitely not a companion piece to Wonka, but a great movie. And they're so funny and irreverent, and it kind of made me realize just how funny Brad Pitt was, because I think he's as funny on that commentary as he is in any movie. And a personal favorite of mine is the Swimming with Sharks commentary. I don't know if you ever listened to that, but it is refreshingly honest in a world of Hollywood platitudes.
I haven't. Now I'm going to.
He really says what he saw in a way that is highly enjoyable to the listener.
That is incredible.
I think the director says about 5 minutes in, I don't think I'm going to get to make another movie, so I'm going to tell you what it was really like. You go, wow, I am strapping in for this one.
I love that. Now, have you heard the theory that Charlie is actually in your film as the shoeshine boy in the beginning of the film?
I did hear that theory. That is sadly not true. The timescales just don't work out. Like Willy Wonka in Charlie is supposed to be an old man, but so there are a million Easter eggs, but that's not one.
You've turned both Hugh Grant and Olivia Colman, who are wholesome British institutions, into villains. If you could turn another delightful good guy into like a gruesome villain, who would you choose?
Oh, that's a good question. Has Josh Gad done evil? I feel he must.
Oh, I think that would be a good one.
Well, I love Josh Gad. I mean, I'm a huge fan, so that might be fun. He must have done it already. I feel there must be. He's kind of the evil sidekick in Beauty and the Beast, isn't he? But he's not really evil. But I reckon there's some sinister there to be had.
Thank you so much for your time, Paul. You're absolutely incredible. I love Wonka. I love revisiting this, but the home entertainment release has so many cool behind-the-scene features that I absolutely enjoyed and gobbled up. We get to hear from your point of view, creating the world. We get the sets, which are all practical and props.
Amazing.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And we even got like a chocolate making thing on the Blu-ray extra. It's incredible. I got to thank you so much for your time. Wonka is absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much, Paul.